Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Project Doc stream. I'm your host, Brian Locke. And on this stream, I get to do no work whatsoever, and you do all the work. And I can hear myself back. Where can I hear this? This is what I get for having a million tabs open. I still haven't found it. Oh, I found it. Found it. Okay, it's gone. Yes. So in this stream, I do no work and you do all the work. So what you do is you join the Discord. The link is in the description. You tag me and say, hey, I'd like to show something. I'll give you a special Project Doc waiting room role or Project Doc patient role. You get into a new spot on the Discord, and in there you will see the link to the StreamYard. So then you are welcome to join, come in and talk about your projects. And it doesn't have to be a completed project. It doesn't have to be a particularly fancy one. So anything at all in terms of like if it's a project you're thinking about doing, or if it's a project you're having problems with, or if it's something that you just want to show, that's all great stuff. And even if it's a simple project like, hey, I just got this LED blinking, great, bring it on. I want to see those stuff. I want to see what you are doing and talk about it. So yes, thank you everyone for joining, especially seeing as BitLooney's trash is streaming at the moment as well. This is the type of reason why BitLooney has the unhelpful role on my Discord, because just not a helpful guy. He was talking about including my stream in his stream, but I will copyright strike him if he does. Just so you know, BitLooney. Okay, so anybody who wants to join the Discord, tag me, or if you've already been on, you all are already in that room, so you can just join the StreamYard link. But first up, we have to welcome back Dan. Hello, Dan.
Hi, how are you? Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Great.
How is it going?
Going well, thank you. Yeah, so
Great.
I've been working on lots of different little projects since the last time I was on, which was maybe 6 weeks ago or so. But so yeah, the first news I'll mention on my name here, I've created an internet alter ego for myself that's called Electron Village.
Nice, yeah.
And so you can all go follow me on Twitter, and I'll be posting kind of my electronic stuff there. And I also have working on getting a Tindy up soon for some small things. So that's also under the same name, Electron Village. So it's not up yet, but it's in progress. And I just want to call out in your Discord, it's really nice that there's a lot of people kind of running Tindies already or thinking about doing similar things, and a lot of helpful people that have really kind of encouraged me to keep going with it. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's great. That is actually something we should kind of have a better section to talk about, because Brian's Tindy is the closest place, and I don't really care, but like I think there is a good few sellers, so it probably would be a good idea to have somewhere to talk about it. But yeah, that's definitely something that I have a bit of experience with at this stage. So if ever you have questions around that stuff, feel free to shoot me a message on Discord or whatever.
Great, cool. I appreciate that. And just nice, like just chatting with people who are doing the same thing and not feeling so alone doing it. So it's fun.
Yeah. Yep.
So in terms of projects I was going to show off, let's see, I'll go a little bit in chronological order. I'll first show something that I won't be selling on my Tindy for reasons that'll become apparent in a moment. But this is a little printed circuit board PCB badge that I made for some friends of mine. I've shown this on your Discord a little bit. And so this is some friends of mine and I who play Mario Kart online together. And our kind of thing is we all get together, and we all put on the Tanuki Mario as our avatar, which is the Mario in a Tanuki suit. And we get as many people as possible, like 6 or 8 of us or more together, to go into these rooms and just have this giant gang of Tanuki Marios come in. And so this has been one of my like keeping sane during quarantine things, is hanging out with these folks online and chatting with them, every weekly. And so this was my fun gift that I've been mailing out to them. And super simple little badge with a 2032 and a switch, and I put a little power header on the back. And some of them are magnets. Some people wanted magnets and some people wanted pins, and I have them in about 5 different colors. So unfortunately, like I said, I won't ever be able to like sell these on my Tindy, but they're like
Nintendo are usually so
yeah, they're so
open
understanding about
for anybody who doesn't know, Nintendo are notorious for cracking down on like protecting their IP. Like, they've had all sorts of weird things, like even down to like Smash streamers and stuff, like where like, hey, don't you dare use this stuff.
I know. I feel like I'm taking a risk even showing it to you here, but like Nintendo, it's the smallest run possible, and I've given out a dozen of them, and then I've destroyed the mold. So don't go.
They'll come for you. Who's the new head of Nintendo now? It's Bowser.
It's Bowser. Oh, that's an ominous sign.
Yeah, he's coming for you. Maybe Reggie is the problem.
Reggie, yeah, we'll see. Well, the other thing I was going to mention with these, which is a little tip I learned on Hackaday, but made a huge difference, is on this area. So this is kind of, I've left this area transparent, just bare FR4 on both the back and the front. So you get the light shining through. These are little side mounted LEDs. And then the little tip that I learned from Hackaday is this is a big blob of hot glue that goes over there, and that acts as a diffuser, and it really makes a huge difference in terms of diffusing that light across the kind of the inner area. So you can still see a little bit where the lights are, but way better than without the glue. So.
And just for people, these are side mounted LEDs, right?
That's right. Yeah. So these are, if you can see them very well, but yeah, the light shines that way and that way rather than out. And so yeah, I think they're kind of made to be kind of side backlight kind of things, but you really get quite a good amount kind of going down through the PCB without having to do any weird custom mounting or anything like that. I know they do make, like, I think they're called Gullwing LEDs that point downwards, but they're pretty expensive compared to the side mounts. The side mounts are a couple pennies.
Yeah. Like this Tanuki Mario board has inspired me to. I haven't done it yet, but I am inspired to redo my PCB tree. Or I have one up here.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that project.
Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, it's a Christmas tree ornament.
Yeah,
these are the new versions of them, which are using the actual upside down mounted LEDs.
Oh, okay.
But they're way too expensive to sell. Like they're 30 US cent in even decent
per LED.
Per LED in decent enough quantities. So like it's just not, if there's 12 LEDs, 30 cent each, like before you even have done anything, it's like $3 or $4. Like but yeah, even
I think I got like 3 cents a piece for 100 of them or something. So
exactly. Like, and that's when I say like they're 30 cent each, I mean that's in like 1,000 quantity. As in like it's really, really expensive. But like even the Tanuki Mario one that's not hot glued, like I think that might even be enough per bauble. Like the baubles aren't that big, so I think we might
those
get
are very
away
small. With it. I don't think you need the diffuser on that. I don't think so.
So what I'll do is
the board itself diffuses quite a bit.
Yeah. So I'll spin up a rev of it and see how it works out. But I think even if I was getting it assembled, like I nearly even think that a stage of adding hot glue would nearly be cheaper than getting the thing. And the other thing as well is if you give it to people with the side mounted LEDs, it could be like a hack that it is hey, put hot glue on it if you want to
make it even better. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I thought it would be hard to get a good, nice, even blob of glue, but it really doesn't take after a couple practices, it's not too bad. It kind of holds its form well.
The Shepu was saying that you can't get
Yeah,
your fab house to do it. I don't know.
true.
I've got maker fabs to do some weird stuff for me so
Really.
far. So like even like it's not quite hot glue, but like that's my
Oh,
power blockers, and they
which
do the heat shrink
got it.
for me
Yeah,
as well. Like so,
that's
you know,
nice.
like they charge for the heat shrink,
Sure.
obviously, but like is in it's fine.
Yeah,
By the time they arrive, I just need to test them. So that's pretty nice. But yeah, that's cool. That was
yeah.
you
Thanks.
said chronological, so we've got more stuff.
Chronological. So more stuff. Yeah. So the next thing is, so I'll show you. This is Rev 1. I literally got Rev 2 in the mail from PCB like an hour ago. So,
Ooh.
but this is Rev 1 with a mistake that I'll show you. But this is the first thing that I intend to sell on Tindy eventually once I get it all kind of worked out. And again, so both this and the next thing are kind of answer the question is of what's the simplest possible thing I could make that would either be useful or educational to someone on Tindy, right? To dip my toes in the water. So I know that this isn't very complex, but it's a good place to start. So this is a little kit basically that I made, a little soldering kit. And the idea is just kind of showing the basics of digital logic. So I've got a couple 74 series logic ICs on there, and they're all plugged into LEDs, and then you flip these little dip switches on here, and dip switches are a pain.
Okay.
And as you kind of flip them on and off, then the lights change, and so you're seeing number one and number A1 and B1, and then A1 or B1, A1 XOR B1, right? So it's kind of showing you what the different logic operations are, and you would kind of put this together from a kit. And so the idea is, the idea is kind of make something that like you learn something, putting it together, it looks nice to display on your shelf, and ideally I'd love to do possibly a series of these where they kind of step through different concepts in digital logic. I've also thought about doing a series where it teaches you to get smaller and smaller with your soldering, right? So it'd be very, very easy to take this entire circuit and transplant it into all SOICs instead of dips and all surface mount 0805s, and then take it. And there's about 3 or 4 levels of working your way down the scale of learning how to solder that I think would be a cool place to take these. So anyway, this is kind of Rev 1, and being Rev 1, I messed up and I didn't put pull-up resistor. The logic pins were floating on my first revision, and so I have this like
You got the
great
big badge.
nasty badge on the back, or badge on the back there. Badge on the badge.
Badge on the badge. That's like you said, that was Rev 1, right?
Yeah.
Rev 3 is
Rev
my
3 is it?
That's the first 2 have to get dumped. That's the rules, basically.
Yep. Well, we'll see. Here's Rev 2, and I'll put that together tonight and see what I did wrong. But actually, so what I did, I had a funny idea when I was making Rev 2, which is maybe I can turn my bodging into a little learning experience for people and show what not to do and why and how to fix it. So on this one, I fixed most of that error, but I've left 2 pins floating, and I intend to put in the instructions, why don't you leave pins floating? Here's what happens if you do. Why are these lights flashing on and off? Because it's floating. And then I left little ground pads on the back, so basically to give you an easy way to learn how to bodge on a resistor or 2 yourself.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I've had this like idea in my head for like years. I don't know how to implement. Well, I've never really sat down and thought about it, but like I would love to make like a puzzle box PCB, basically, where there's things wrong with it and you have to like diagnose and bodge it, as in like it's a known thing. And maybe like what the circuit is a 7-segment display that like shows, when it's working correctly, it shows a code or something.
Yeah.
And that code gets you something if you solve it or whatever.
Yeah, but I like that idea.
I can never think of like enough things though, like like it's actually kind of hard to think of non-obvious bodges that you would have. Like the bodges nearly need to be organic, right? Or else they just like, oh, I just didn't connect this thing, or but like maybe floating
right.
LEDs is one good way of doing it, or
Yeah.
floating buttons or something.
Yeah.
Like it's
I like the idea of a puzzle circuit in general, whether that's how to bodge it, or another thing I considered for this was like, could I make it a puzzle game where you have to turn all the lights on or off, and based on kind of studying and understanding what and or an XOR means, that you can flip a series of switches to make them all turn on or off. But I couldn't quite come up with a combination that was like, you know, had the right level of difficulty and also felt like it was, you know, still making you learn something. So maybe on a later one, but we'll see. I think it'll be a good kind
maybe
of
you should just sell Rev 1 as a puzzle.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Right. If you can do a bodge like that, then I'll send you a sticker or something.
Yeah, you deserve it. Yeah, if anybody does have a good idea for that, do not feel like you're stealing that idea from me. Take it, run with it. Don't do, you know, like, as in, ideas are cheap. Implementing them is the way to go. Like, if I definitely can't claim ownership to all the ideas that have been in my head, because I would just own the internet then at that stage. Right?
Conversely, I always have this bad feeling of when I go find somebody else that's doing the same thing that I thought I was doing secretly myself with no one knowing.
Yeah.
And, oh, they've ruined it. It's like, no, you can still do it, and there's nothing wrong with multiple people working on the same ideas.
I tend to. I tend to like share project ideas like super early on, like mainly just because I don't really care. Like, I don't think people are going to copy anything from, you know, if someone's inspired and they do their own thing from it, like, cool, like that's great. Like and like, even sometimes it leads to things where like I'm kind of half working on a project and I'm aiming to make a video at some stage, and then somebody else does it first, you know, even on the code that I've actually worked on. I just haven't gotten around to making a video. But like, realistically, if it was high enough on my priority list, I would have finished it by then, you know, as in, like, so I just
yeah, no, I've been trying to get better at that too, about kind of like posting about things that are in progress. And I think it's less about, for me, it's been less about worrying about it being stolen and more about the kind of psychological thing of, well, I don't want to post before I think it's finished, before I'm proud of it. And I think like that's been I don't know. I think it's valuable to post about things that are in progress, that are not done, that are not polished, and at the end of the day, it's only a tiny percentage of projects that really make it to all the way polished. And so I think like embracing, being open about your process means sometimes making mistakes in public and whatnot. But I think that's better in a lot of ways than hiding and only ever showing one project every 6 months or something.
Yeah, I agree. I'm a big kind of fan of like getting stuff out early and often. There's that old saying, if you wait long enough that you're not ashamed of your project, like, you've waited too long. And I agree with that. Like, as in, I don't know if it's just I've, like, over the years, I just have less shame about things. But like, if something is working, even if it's crap, I'm like, okay, that's, you know, I'm you know, I might continue working on that, you know, as in, I'm not done with this, but hey, this is working now. And if like this will help anybody else at the previous stage, great. So like, I nearly, as soon, unless I'm working on something private, like, I create a GitHub repo for anything. And like, as soon as I get anything working, or even if I, you know, get some way along the way, I start uploading to GitHub. So
GitHub, I'm the same way.
Yeah, just, you know, like, cool. If somebody can do it better or whatever, great. But I'm sure there's a lot of people who are like, you know, would benefit from even a nudge in the right direction or whatever. So
yeah, it's all about how you present it, you know. And it's like, I find projects on GitHub like that all the time. And as long as, you know, if the code is a terrible mess and doesn't work, and it's presented as a finished product that I can just plug in, that's a problem. But if it's somebody's project that is not presented as a product, it's just a helpful, I'm happy to go through some messy code if it means that you know, I might find a nugget of truth in there somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I was doing some I've been doing some work with automation recently for the Tindy stuff, and so I'm using Puppeteer, which is a JavaScript framework
Mm-hmm.
for automating web scripts or websites. And like I don't know what I'm doing with that at all. Like I'm brand new to it. Like I have done JavaScript in the past, but I've never used Puppeteer. And like as soon as I got it working, I was like, okay, cool. Here's that out on, but
Yeah.
there's disclaimers of, hey, this
Right.
is,
This is
this
not like
works, but it's not
Brian's
good.
official Tindy uploader TM. It's here's some stuff
Yeah.
I wrote. Yeah.
Here's
Yeah.
some stuff I wrote. Use it if you want, but like,
Yeah. But
it's
that's valuable because there's so many people that do that and then don't put it on GitHub, and so it's it's so nice to find the people that do, and I try to do that too. But
yep.
I've definitely, it's a mindset shift thinking about it as like publishing my portfolio versus like here's everything I'm working on that I don't consider private, for sure.
Yeah, like even like I know this isn't. I will never be interviewing you, Dan, or anything. But from a hiring perspective, like even if I came across somebody who had like projects on GitHub,
Right.
and were some of the way done, but wasn't. But they had mentioned, hey, this is
Right.
what I'd like to do in the future with it. I'd be like, this is great. This guy is into this stuff, and is doing it even in his spare time. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
like I would
That's
not see it
meaningful.
as a negative at all that
Yeah. Yeah.
somebody has been working on stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Having hired a few engineers, I definitely, yeah, I've done that too.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
It's, so was there any
Cool.
other projects, Dan,
Yeah,
or
so I
was
got
that?
one more, and this is probably the first one that will actually appear on my Tindy when I get it up and running. And so here's the PCBs that arrived today. And again, this is actually even simpler than the last one. This is kind of like, what's the simplest thing that somebody could find useful? And so this is this little device I call the Ohm Parade, because I like cute names. And it's basically a bunch of resistors and an 8-position dip switch. And the idea is that this is a programmable resistor. It's the same idea as like a binary decade, or I'm sorry, a decade resistance box is kind of like the similar thing. That's like these boxes that you can plug in a bunch of jumpers and get whatever kind of resistance value that you want. And those generally use a bank of a ton of resistors, but the way that this one works is it's kind of like a binary step up in value. And so basically this can emulate any resistor between 10 ohms and 2.56K ohms, right? So it's a binary. So each one of these switches, as you turn it on, you get 10 ohms, 20 ohms, 40 ohms, 80 ohms, 160 ohms, 320, and not all of those are nice resistor values. And so there's there's 8 switches and 12 resistors, and some of them are, like 40 is 220s in parallel,
Yeah.
or what is it? 640 is I can't remember all of them, but there's a few that are like in parallel or series to get you close to that actual binary value.
That's clever.
So it's very small and handy, and you can plug it into a breadboard. Got little jumpers on either side, and yeah, you just the nice thing about it kind of being binary like that is if you're good in binary, you can kind of take the value that you want in your head. And I'm not going to be able to do this on the fly. I'm not, but if you say I want, 625 ohms, or you can only do it to round it to 10, right? So let's say I want 870 ohms. If I take that to 87, I cut off the 0, and I convert 87 to binary. If I'm the kind of person who can do that in my head, who I imagine a lot of electronics nerds are, then
well, I'm not, anyways.
But it's good practice to convert, right? And so 87 in binary will be the correct setting for these dip switches. And so you can just set that in binary, and that'll be your resistance value. So a nice little like breadboard tool, and it's useful for kind of like tinkering with LEDs and trying to see like what resistor works well with a particular LED. It's a little more accurate than a potentiometer. Nice. And then it's got one last little like safety feature, which is it's got a switch on it that you can, like, when this is off, the whole thing is disconnected. So you can disconnect and then fiddle with your dip switches and get the resistance right, and then flip it back on so that you don't accidentally set too low of a resistance and blow something up,
Yeah, that's really cool.
And then there's one little jumper on there that you can hook up an ohm meter to it, and that will always be connected, so you can always be kind of measuring what what the resistance is. So yeah, really simple little gadget, and I'll probably sell these like both assembled and as kits on Tindy for, I don't know, $5 or $10 or something. So,
Nice.
but I'm happy to. And this one, I think I got to do a little more testing, but this one actually might be a Rev 1 out the door. So we'll see.
Well, the first power blocker was also
Was it?
Rev 1 out the door. That was literally
Nice.
my first PCB ever as well.
Nice.
But like when you make the simplest PCB in the world,
Yes.
then it's hard to mess that up.
Yeah,
Although
exactly.
I did. But JLC fixed it for me. Basically, I had mirrored the text on the bottom silk somehow. Like, is in, I think, sorry, I may had maybe not mirrored it. It was wrong,
Right.
anyways. Like, so
Like
when I ordered it,
front silk screen on a back layer that hadn't been flipped properly. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So, but JLC went, "This is wrong," and flipped it for me.
wow, good for them.
But Osh Park didn't. Like, they went, "Well, it's in the Gerber," and they sent it flipped. That's how I know for sure that I had messed up. But I guess like maybe you might have wanted it backwards, and JLC never asked. So I don't know. I'm not 100% sure if it is a good thing that they flipped it. But yeah.
It's been very interesting to me about this process, like how much human intervention there is. I would have expected that for as cheap as these boards are, that it's all entirely automated. And it's interesting to hear how many stories I've heard of a human being intervening and saying, "Oh, let me get that right for you."
Yeah, in fairness now, JLC have done that a few times for me. Like, as in a couple of times, like I took out a chunk of my board layout at one stage, or my board line, and like I had completely cut off
Funny.
a trace, like, and yeah, they were like, "I don't think this is right," and I was like, "You're right, this is wrong."
Interesting.
Yeah. But Dan, we've a couple of other people coming in now, so
that's all I got. Sorry to take up so much time, but I was happy to. Okay. And yeah, I got another project coming in hopefully in the next week. So waiting for JLC. So I'll have more next time.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you so much, Dan.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'll
catch you later. Bye.
Bye. Right, so that was Dan. He is based in the US of A, I believe, on the West Coast. So next up, we have Michael. Hello, Michael.
Oh. Am I in view? Hi, everybody.
You're in view. You're live. Say hello to everybody.
Hello. I was completely surprised, Brian, but I don't mind that I was already that it was my turn. Hello, first time you will see me in a live stream. Thanks to Johnny, who said I should live stream. So he was so kind to send me one of his cameras he had lying. And I'm now using it. And we tested it out with a private stream once. That's the only experience I have. And the problem is that I used YouTube directly at that moment. Later, I was halfway installing 2 scenes I had in OBS, but now I had to move again to directly use StreamYard. I don't mind, but I can't show my program now. I can't show my screen because if I film it, it will be mirrored. Right?
Oh. Well, you can do. There's a share screen button in StreamYard down the bottom of the webpage.
Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah.
Yeah, if you click that, I can add that share to the scene.
Okay, I've clicked it now. Share screen, I've done that. It wants me. I clicked share. Yeah, it's now share audio too, because that's computer audio only, right? Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. The share button still isn't is still grayed out. I don't know why. Oh, I have to select.
Is your browser stopping?
Yeah, your entire screen. Yeah, that's the best for now because I'm not prepared. I'm very ill prepared. Also with what I'm going to show in this short attendance, but yeah, it's all a bit hasty, and I only thought of doing it for real at 9:30. So it's an hour ago. So
for us, Michael, for like native English speakers, 9:30 is what time it is right now in Ireland.
Yeah.
But we had this problem at the end of, I think it was the MakerCast last night.
Yeah.
I think it was after dark, so to speak. But somebody said, "Oh, it's 1:30," and I was like, "No,
Yeah.
it's not."
Actually, I wasn't confused, but I was using Dutch time.
Oh, you were you. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So 9:30 because you're in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
It's an hour ago.
Yeah, it's now 10:30.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's 22:30 here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So would you normally say half? Like, is it 10:30
No, we
now,
do
or
it
would you
the
say
other way
half?
around.
Yeah. So
We do
half
it
to
10:30.
11. Yeah.
10 means 1/2 hour before 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very strange.
I used to like when I did German in school, and like when you do the listening tests, and you're like, terrible at the language, and you just pick up, oh, I heard 9 and I heard half, like 9:30. It has to be 9:30, but it was not.
Yeah, it's completely one hour difference. You mean past, and we mean before.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there's also the hour difference between the Europe continent and Ireland and UK.
Yeah,
and
so
that makes it all confusing. But
it sure does.
I'm completely confused at the moment. But okay, it's working. I can talk. I hope everybody can see me. I don't see any chat. I didn't open another window of YouTube or so.
I'll let you know if some questions come up, Michael. So do you want me to share your screen? I currently see it's me and you.
You can. It is ready if I want to share it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Not now, because let me first. This was my general talk. I'm from the Netherlands, for those who don't know, and I've been quite active in the chats, and I've made a few videos on my channel, and not so regular, but depends on what I'm doing. But okay, let me show you what I was wanting to show. I have to move the camera because then I'm not in view. In OBS, I had already prepared my desktop, my laptop's camera in the edge, in the corner of the screen, to show my face, and then I could show the other image. But now I can only show one thing.
That's
so
that's no problem.
I hope my English is understandable.
Well, I can hear you loud and clear, anyways.
Yeah, I'm quite loud in voice, but I mean.
I can understand.
I got a clear Dutch accent, I think. So, okay, I'm gonna move the camera now.
Yep.
Yeah, there it goes. Move it to here. Let me. I have to do it all mirrored because otherwise you see it mirrored. I think. I can't put the camera behind my back. Hey, it changed. Did you change anything?
I just made it bigger. So
right. Oh, you can do that. It's better now. Yeah. Don't make it too zoomed in because then I can't show everything. Well, it's not much, but what is lying here. Okay. What I was curious for, I ordered these two. I'll try to show them. Supercapacitors. Yep. And they were only €2.50 per two. So it's very cheap. They are 1.5 farad and 5.5 volts. So I can charge them up with USB, no problem. And I wired them in parallel. So this one is going directly to the other one. And that one is, a lot of wires are coming from it. One is this power bank and a USB board that can set the voltage, only the voltage. So I can lower the voltage or even jump it up, boost it up to 30 volts. And it's off now, but I set it to 5.5 volts. I know that is absolute maximum of the capacitors, but they didn't explode so far. So let's hope they won't do that now. And so I don't change it, but it's boosting a bit because it's boosting the 5 volts to 5.5 volts now. Yeah. That is this, and it is connected to charge up the. I will turn it on because it needs some time. Yeah, I forgot that. Yeah, it showed. Can you read it as 5.5 now? Yeah.
We can read that.
The right way around. Okay. So it says 5.5 volts, and now here is my meter that is also connected on the same points. Try to, you see? Yeah, it's directly measuring it. And for instance, if I turn it off, it immediately starts dropping.
Yeah.
And the longer you wait, the first part of charging of a capacitor goes very quickly, but the last few volts or millivolts are taking quite a long time. And if you turn it off after, say, like a quarter of an hour, it's already staying more at the 5.5 volts level.
Oh.
So it will drop, but it won't drop to 4.5 in 2 seconds or so. So I removed the meter. I couldn't put it also in view for the whole time. I'll leave it on. In the meanwhile, I'll try to explain what I was doing. So I was curious if the capacity rating is correct. If it wasn't a Chinese exaggeration of like 40% or so. And to do that, I wanted to have to measure the current, but I don't have an ENA module right now. I ordered it. That's a current measuring module you can hook up to Arduino, in this case a Nano. You can see it well, but it is you're using I2C. And you can just hook it up, and it's quite precise, or very precise. 2016 is the number, I believe.
Okay.
INA, and then you know maybe the number yourself.
I'm not familiar with that.
Okay, I'm not too
product
prepared.
anymore, so.
Okay, it's a current measuring module, and it has a shunt resistor in it, and so. But there are more ways. And the simplest way is this on this breadboard, and it uses from the positive a load that is a resistor, I believe 300 ohms, so it won't get hot at this moment. It's cold, and the load. Let me see. Oh, I did connect the load. Let me remove it. The load is disconnected right now, and on the half point there is this resistor going to the negative. That is 100 ohms, and that is the resistor that I measure the voltage drop over. By this point, the green wire is, my fingers were in the way, is on the high side, and on the low side, on the ground, is this wire. Oh, sorry, I showed the wrong. This is disconnected right now. It's put somewhere where I should pay attention to what you see, because you didn't see it.
No, it's fine. We can see it fine.
My fingers were in the way. This is right now only at the spot reserved. Only it doesn't do anything. And the other one I left connected, and they are going to this Arduino Nano to the A3 analog input. Oh, let me lower it. And the ground, of course. And once the charging is completed, we can run a sketch I made, and let me think if it's time to show it.
We can show it quickly.
Wait a second, please. Okay. I think I told everything about this setup. So to prove that it's actually quite precise, the measuring of the current by measuring the voltage drop, you can divide it by the resistance, right? And then the amps or the milliamps, and that I can read from the analog input, the A3 pin, and it shows a value. In this case, I measured the lowest I can put my. Now that doesn't count anymore, but I measured it from 0.6 volts at the lowest point, which value the analog gives, the analog pin in the sketch, and also at the 5.5 volt point. And between those, I made a calculation, and there I divided them by, and then I know the calculation factor. So if say the pin says its highest the pin, analog pin, gets the highest current. It gives the highest of say 300 on the analog pin, and at the lowest point it's 36, I believe. And I can calculate back from each value the analog pin gives in the sketch what value is then the current. And I made a sketch for that. And can you show my screen? Let me switch to the right, and I'll expand it to full screen. Yeah, it's on. I can't see if you turn it on, but it is.
Yeah, it's on now. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm using the timer library. That is Timer Master, I believe, in this case. And it is you can start it, and then it starts counting, and you know how much second it has passed, and then you can stop it also, of course. And then you can calculate the past time. And you can read it with this value timer. Let me show it. I can find it. Timer.read. And I divide it by 1,000, and then I get 1 second. Okay, let me explain the program a bit. This is just the setup, of course, and it starts the timer. Then it goes into a loop. And it only the loop is only run one time. To be honest, it stops at the end. I can show that it stops with a while, and it's an infinite loop. So it never reaches the beginning again. It reads the current the first time. This is the division factor I made, and 1.61. That is the amount of pin value per milliamp, I believe, if I'm right. But I made it 2 weeks ago, and I already lost what I done. But it works. I set old current to current because we have a start point, and then I'm going into the loop that stays until it is lower the current than 1 milliamp, lower or equal. And here it recalculates the current again. And if the current, the old current is, it measures the current, and then it delays 1 second here in delay. And when it returns in the while loop, the current has maybe changed. So old current is probably higher than the current. So if I subtract current from old current, I know how much the voltage has dropped and the current has dropped. And so if it's larger than a tenth of a milliamp, then I say it's enough. Let's go to a function, totaling it's called. Let's go to there, that's here. And here it stops the timer. So it knows now, at the moment the voltage, the current has dropped half and 1/10 of an milliamp. It knows it's time to measure it, so it stops the time, and it knows how long it has been on a certain milliamp value. And in this case, and it should be larger than or equal to 0, otherwise you can't calculate with 0. And what it does now is the one period, so this instance it is entering totaling function. It calculates the old current and times the time. So this is time in a second. This part of the equation is the time in a second. So what it does, say the current has been for 5 seconds, it's been 10 milliamps. It multiplies it by 5. So 5 times 10. So you know the amount of milliamps in the numbers in the total of seconds, and I keep adding that up each time this function is called. I add it all up, so I don't know the time in milliamp hours, but I know it in milliamp seconds to be if you understand.
Yeah.
Okay, and what it does here is printing out the values. Otherwise, you don't see anything if it runs, and it's printing the one period value. So, say in my example, the 50 milliamps, 5 times 10, and also the total. It gets added to the total. Okay,
So,
then
Michael,
it starts. Sorry.
So, Michael, I'm dying to know what was the genuine reading of the supercap. So,
Yeah, yesterday I've run it for the first time. You want to know the secret, huh?
We're
Yeah,
all dying to know, I'm sure.
yeah. Actually, I was a bit surprised because if I hope I did all the calculation right, but I'm not. Yeah, I hope to. I'm a bit long on for the stream, I think. But okay, let's say it was more than 1.5. It was 2.5 or so, and also calculated the milliamps, but milliamp hours I calculated it was 4. So it was 4 milli. That is not the normal reading for a capacitor. Because what the capacitor does, it doesn't stay at the maximum voltage, but it keeps dropping, and it's not usable for all the time. But I like to compare it like a battery or so. So it was 4 milliamp hours and 2.5 farads, and that was very strange because it was even more. So not completely 100% sure. But here is the totaling. After the milliamps has dropped to lower than the 1 milliamp, it exits the while loop. That is the end here. And then I calculate the milliamp hours by the total, the milliamp per second by 3600. And that is the amount. I hope if you see anything wrong, please call me. But the coulomb is amps milliamps. 1 coulomb is the milliamp hours times 3.6. I found it online. And if I want to know the farads, then I divide the coulombs by the voltage, and the voltage is the maximum voltage rating is 5.5. So I believe it is the coulombs, what is here calculated, divided by 5.5. And that is what I'm doing here. That this is just a message, and this is the actual calculation, as you can see. And here it's printing the measured farads, and I calculated it should be 1.5. I didn't calculate. It stated on the supercap. It should be 1.5. And actually it's larger. I can't really show the whole process, of course, because that would take too long. But I think you can go back to the other screen. Exit the screen sharing.
I'll have to wrap up because there's somebody else looking to come on as well, and we're running out of time, Michael.
I have no how do you say feeling of time, but I know I'm already much longer. But I think I showed what I was doing with my project, and I enjoyed it very much to talk about it.
Yeah, good job, Michael.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, so that was Michael from the Netherlands with his supercap tester. I do not know anything about capacitors, so coulombs and whatever, that's all new to me. But if anyone has any information that might be useful to Michael, you'll find him on my Discord anyways, and I'm pretty sure most of the other people's as well. And he's a real interesting character on the Discord, so I'm really happy he got to come along and show off his stuff. So next up, we have another real interesting character, and that is Mark Olson. Hello, Mark.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Awesome. How are you?
I am great, Mark, and how are you?
I'm good. Isn't that the traditional, British
That's the Irish. That's the way to say it. Yeah, you can't answer truthfully to that too. As in you will literally never say anything other than I'm great, or an Irish thing would be, oh, I'm grand.
Yeah.
Like, even if you were like, having the worst day of your life, you would never answer anything but I'm grand.
Exactly. Yeah, I just thought it'd be fun to come and say hi and to show some random thing. I didn't. It's not really one of my projects I'm showing, though. I wanted to show where. But we were talking about bodging the badge before.
Yeah.
I had to bring on Badger.
Mine is floating around here somewhere. It's in the From Other Makers box.
Yeah, I guess you've not made it yet.
No, I haven't. I'm sorry. I have such a long list of stuff to make. Even like I recently got Dustin Watts's ESP32 touchdown, and like I would use that for streams and stuff, and it's assembled, and I still haven't done anything with it. Like, it's right there. And I haven't been getting a lot of time to do stuff at the moment, so I'm sorry. It is no it's no insult to the product. It's my useless time management skills.
I have one also, but mine's one of the.
Ooh, you've got this.
Is
that the real one? Yeah.
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 But it's not plugged in. I mean,
Yeah.
just like yours. Yeah. So I should be quiet because Emma's sleeping. I forgot about that.
Everybody in the chat, be quiet.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you're coming through loud and clear anyway. So if you need
I have a good mic, just there.
Yeah.
Next to the chocolate, Just
I appreciated those anyways in your package. I'm not sure if I gave any to my family. I'm not gonna lie, I might have eaten them all.
Naughty. Yeah. So anyway, I got a package today from DigiKey, and it had some M5 stack goodies. I've never played with them before, and I ordered one of these. It's a QR code barcode reader, and it actually has an ESP32 in that. It's
that's crazy.
And I know you love LED matrices.
I do.
It's the most tiniest matrix.
That is so cool.
And there's an ESP32 in that. And
it's an 8x8, is it?
I don't think so. I'll plug it in. And I guess it's 5 by 5, maybe. It's actually a spirit level. It's cool.
You'd look great out in the building site with that thing.
Yeah.
God. Hey guys, instead of this bubble in water that's worked since the dawn of time, look at my thing.
Yeah. But,
that's a really nice looking package, though. I haven't gotten any of the M5 stuff.
Yeah, it's like €8 or €9 for that. It's nothing. It's ridiculous.
I really should get into
made and designed in China, So I've been playing with the QR one.
Yep.
And the reason behind it is I have, the Wentai boxes. I have one.
Oh yeah.
And
one or two, yeah.
Yeah, that's my caps and resistors. I have everything else there, and then I have some random ICs in these boxes, and I have a little QR code. And do you want to put my screen on?
Yeah, sure. Should be there now.
Yep. So if you look in the serial, theoretically, is it going to work? Bing. There. So it shows up that, just the LCSC ID.
Nice.
My intention is to link it into some kind of I can't link it to my parts, I guess, not unless I speak to Sion and get him to do some coding for me, which he won't do.
That unhelpful, unexpected maker.
Yeah. Yeah, and I also want to link it into the interactive HTML bomb thing from KiCad. So that, I mean, I don't know. It's just fun. I just, think it's kind of, I might never use it, but I wanted to get one of these for some other project where I need QR codes. And,
I think that's really cool. Yeah.
And I think what's fun is these. These are 23mm square labels, and I can fit the
QR code nicely in the corner.
Yeah, it's a micro QR code, and I was just. You can see on my screen, obviously, it. I can say. Tree. Something. Tree. PCBs.
Feeling someone's making fun of my accent again.
Yeah, and then I can
bully Brian hour.
Yeah, so I can scan. It just reads off the screen as well.
Yeah, that's super cool.
And I made it pink for a certain Swedish
Aesthetic
guy who likes pink.
Who's that? Is
Johnny.
it Johnny?
Yeah.
Yeah, I notice anytime there's a question of what LED color should I make, it's Johnny's first in there, pink, pink, pink.
Exactly. So I made it pink, and it still works. Though I did make it a nicer pink, but a more pretty pink. But, that doesn't work with the QR reader.
It doesn't have the contrast for it, probably, is it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That looks pretty good.
So I just got it today, so I'm playing with that and to see, what it does.
I must get a couple of the ecosystem of the M5 stuff. Like, it's right up my alley, doing stuff kind of quicker, and like being able to like rapidly do a project as quick as possible. That feels like the type of stuff I should be using.
Definitely. There's a couple of modules I got. I got some PIR, but that's for work reason. And then these actually reminded me of you when I saw them. It's a potentiometer.
Yeah.
But you could connect it up to your cute little. Obviously, you need battery as well.
Yeah.
But so you could connect it up. Nope, there we go. And you've got your zooming.
Yeah.
Your webcam. So
that is cool.
It's because it's in a box already, and it's Lego compatible.
It's Lego compatible. Nice.
I don't know how, because it doesn't fit on the Lego.
It doesn't look Lego compatible to me.
I have Lego here, just in case I need it. I think it's the Technic. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Which is perfect because I have a little Technic Lego. For those who don't know me already, I have 150,000 bricks or something.
That's a lot.
Yeah. It's like 20,000 euros worth.
Yeah, sure. If you had like 100, it'd nearly be 20,000 euros worth. Lego is so expensive, and like there's it's this old fogey thing of when did Legos change? Like, but when I was growing up, I just had this like big bag of Lego. It was like this denim looking like mat that like had ropes that you kind of pulled, and it became a satchel like. And, it wasn't from a kit or anything. It was just like blocks. But like, I don't think you can get that type of a thing anymore. It's all like Star Wars Lego or.
Yeah. No, they have the, box with just like 200 bricks in. I can't remember the name of the range. I mean, it's standard Creator or something, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My daughters are a bit young for Lego at the moment, but I would like to get them that type of thing, as they're not. The youngest one is not 2 yet, and she might try taste one of these tasty treats. So,
but then there's Duplo, and
we have some of that.
Yeah, there's Frozen, as in
Frozen Duplo.
Do you want to build a
snowman
PCB or something? Isn't that?
Is it not PCB? I thought it was PCB. Do you know one thing that we have, and you'll appreciate this as a proud Swedish person, is IKEA at one stage sold, I don't know if they still do, they sold like a box of cardboard boxes that was it was basically like Jenga made out of cardboard boxes. So each box is, maybe I don't know, like half a meter long, maybe 40 centimeters long. So they're physically quite big. And we got them for my daughter when she was a bit younger, and they love them. They don't use it as Jenga at all. They just build stuff with it, like because they're just so physically big. They're like just I don't know, make rooms and stuff out of them, and they just really like it. So anybody who has some young creative type kids, I highly recommend the box of cardboard boxes from IKEA. It's quite expensive considering it's just cardboard boxes, but yeah.
I don't know if they do it now, but they in a place called Elmhult, which is not that far from me. Less than an hour drive. It's where IKEA started, and they have a museum there now, where the original store was. And in that museum, they had these boxes like you're talking about, but they had like, I don't know, 500 of them or something. And they're huge. I mean, kids were building like castle out of it and then jumping on it. And
nice.
IKEA actually sell Lego now. They did get a collaboration this year, and it's called Big Lek, BYGGLEK, which means build, play.
Nice.
Yeah. And I'm just reading Henrik. Yeah,
we're getting article numbers here and everything. But I highly recommend that. That was one of the, there's that kind of age-old joke of you give a kid like an expensive present and they play with the box. Like this box of boxes has outlasted many more expensive. There we go. There's a brilliant present for them.
Yeah, that's my kind of. That's where my toy is coming. But,
can I ask you one other question, Mark?
Yeah.
You're a big STM fan. Aren't you? Yeah. They're suffering from a really big shortage at the moment, though, are they? Can you talk like just a elevator pitch about what's going on there?
I mean, it's silicon. Anything that uses certain, I think Unexpected Maker actually knew a bit more about this. It's to do with the nanometer. Is it 40 or something?
Wafer.
Yeah, the process, the factories all around, anyone using them is struggling to make chips that uses these processes. So it's a short. There's some D, the 80, some D. There's some issues with them now.
Yeah.
Xeon had issues with them. Then there was, but I guess like the 80 Tiny, they probably use like a 1 meter process, or no, I don't know what it is. I guess it's obviously higher, so they don't have as an issue with that kind of. Yeah, Micah said about flooding. I hadn't heard of that, but I guess, I mean,
I presume
there was, wasn't
just
there?
COVID related.
I think, I mean, if they have a shortage of, if there's a flood, then they have to do all the work in another factory, but they're already have
Limited.
distancing rules and stuff, so they don't. So it's just this big knock-on effect. And
I remember at one stage, like some big factory, I think it was in Korea, had like a flood or an earthquake or something. I think it was back in like 2013, or maybe it was even earlier than that, for hard drives. And suddenly, like the price of computer hard drives, like doubled in the space of like 6 months or something. So
I'm going off the screen a second, but
that's okay.
Something.
But like one thing I'm interested with that like silicone shortage, like as a person who does design hardware, like do you have to like pick something else at that stage, or what do you do in that?
So these are STM32 chips.
So you're opening the black market, is it?
Yeah, this is why there's a shortage. Now this is what you do. You plan if you can.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, it's really hard, but the good thing with STM32 is you can buy compatible. So we actually, for product, we went with one MCU, but then I realized you couldn't find it anymore. It was really hard.
Yeah.
But then I found this one, which is actually better because you don't need a crystal.
Yeah.
So, and it's more low power, which doesn't matter in this case, but
yeah. Sure, it's no harm.
Yeah. So, but I've got like 150, I think there, and I've got another 150, 200 coming on Wednesday, I think. And I need 150, so it's a case of I know we will need them in the future, and they are. I mean, they're ridiculously cheap. STM32. They were like 70 cents, I think. 70 euro cents.
Yeah.
My brain works in like pounds, euros, dollars.
I'm kind of the same.
And I don't even think I don't have any issue like swapping at all.
Well, I found your first customer. Robin needs to buy some STMs. So.
I was going to ask that. What does he need? Because maybe I have.
He's your guy. I know an STM guy.
Yeah. So there's the 401. No, I'm going the wrong way around. 401. Can't see what that is. L071. Oh, I need them. F103. They're the ones on the blue pill. The popular ones.
Yeah.
These have Bluetooth and antenna and everything. They're really nice. I've got projects coming up with them. But yeah, I have, and this is MCU box 2. So I have.
You have MCU box 1 somewhere.
Yeah, and 3.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the last thing I was going to show you actually was it's another M5 stack.
Yeah,
it's a little keyboard, and I just thought it's kind of fun to. Yeah, I'm going to maybe make it to the. I'm laughing what Robin wrote.
Send me MCU box 2.
Yeah. I'm going to connect it up to the little ESP thing, and or maybe a Bluetooth BLE, and connect it to the TV, because Emma, she goes through the channels, not the channels, goes on YouTube, searches for stuff, and if she can type using this, I know she can do it from her phone, but it's like launching the app.
Yeah.
It's funny. It actually has a 80 mega 328.
Oh yeah.
On it. and they cost. This was like less than €4. It's
Really?
ridiculous.
I must get on the M5 stack stuff.
Yeah, I'm just grabbing something. Back
Sure.
in
Yep.
2 seconds.
I will entertain the masses. Hello, masses. I will entertain you. I don't know what to say, really. I've got a nice little cart for my Tindy stuff now. So when I'm packing orders, I can wheel it out, and then I can put it into that wardrobe when I'm finished with it. And Mark is back, thankfully, because I had nothing else.
I was going to buy one of them on Saturday. Them
Yeah, it's from IKEA.
Yeah, tea trolley things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been kind of. I want one with all my tools just there.
I really like this because it's given me like an extra space beside my desk that I can just wheel away when I'm finished with it. So highly recommend. Another IKEA thing. I think this was like €14, so pretty cheap.
Yeah, this is for Robin.
Rob.
This is MCU 1, which is interesting because if you look, there they are.
Let me make it bigger.
Some D21s. The shortage is in my box, but they're not actually mine. They're Johnny's. Johnny gave me them. Well, I don't know why. So
we need to talk to Johnny about getting those ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have some of my own actually. There. Interesting. Yeah, it's nice to have a selection of stuff.
It's nice to be stocked. Yeah.
Indeed, but that's what I've been trying to do with projects is plan ahead. I mean, I'm making 150 boards of one thing, and we bought 250 of the power modules.
Yeah.
4,000 of the resistors. You know.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah. This has been fun. I've got more things to show.
Yeah.
In the future, I should come on.
Please do. Yeah, please do. Yeah, thank you so much, Mark, for joining.
It's nice to chill out and not be stressed like in show and tell.
Where it's like 5 minutes. It's like,
yeah.
Yeah, it's probably nice to have a smaller audience too. Like the show and tell, it's like, oh my god, I'm on Adafruit's thing. I'm talking to Lamour.
Yeah.
I'm no Lamour in more ways than Owen. But yeah, I like this format. I like this format just because it's laid back and you can talk. You know, if you find a nugget of information somewhere, you can kind of dig into it, see what the story is and stuff. Yeah, but yeah,
Lego. I'll yeah, for the next time I'll make something and I'll make a Lego contraption. I have all the Lego Mindstorms robotics stuff.
Yeah,
as well. So I'll have some fun with that.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, someone's speaking German now, so I guess. Is it German? Yeah.
That is German by the looks of things to me.
Yeah. The Not is the Teufel.
Well, if Robin, a German, is asking what that means in English, then maybe it's not proper German. Or maybe Robin's just looking for a translation. But yes.
Think about the truffle flying. No, I don't know. I learned German for like 4 years, but
I learned it for more, and I don't speak a word. Basically,
ist nicht gut. I can understand it if people,
Ich spreche kleine Deutsch. Yes, I've one more person to get to, Mark, before we finish up. So thank you so much for joining. Everybody, give a round of applause to Mark and giving us some information about why we all need to stock up on STMs like their toilet paper. So thank you, Mark. I cut Mark off there. Sorry, Mark. I didn't realize you were going to say see you later. Okay, we have one more special guest.
Round of applause. Not for me.
It's not
hi,
Angus
Brian.
Deco. Doesn't work as well. I'll change my name to Mark, so that joke makes more sense.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's okay. I actually only saw that film for the first time, like way after it was popular, like as in like a year or two ago. Sorry, I've never actually saw The Room. I only saw the Philip.
Same for me.
Yeah, the Franco thing.
Yeah.
But
I have the DVD here, but I've never watched it, and I think I got all the memes inside of me, so I don't have to watch the movie.
I'm the same. Yeah.
I should have said
left down.
Oh, bye, Mark, or something like that.
Yeah, that would have worked fine.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
So, in hardship, the devil eats flies. Something like that. I'm not sure. There's probably something that relates better, and that's an actual thing you say.
I don't know. So, yeah, I can't think of one off the top of my head, but it's basically like you'll do whatever you can to survive, is it? Or
yeah,
I can't think of. I can't think of a more like a one in English. No, can't think of one off. I'm terrible at English, so who knows? So, what are you up to, Dave?
Well, right now I'm cleaning. Well, not cleaning. I'm first trying to get a sense of order into this room. That's something that I do for, well, technically every weekend, and then I build something or not, and then it kind of looks the same all the way again. But yeah, I get some free spaces and things are stacked orderly. But yeah, the thing that I did, and it's kind of resembling one of your projects, but I didn't build it. So
you stole it from me.
No, I mean you can see the parts, right?
I'm trying to make you the big person here, and I don't know how to do it.
I have no idea how to do that as well. It would be nice for
it's possible to do. Well, it is because
we've seen it.
Matu was doing it the other day.
Yeah, he
was a pro. Oh no!
Yeah, he's smarter than us, and he did it the first time.
Quite clearly. Maybe I just need to reposition you. No, I don't know how to do this. Look,
right.
You can have the full screen.
All right. So, I'm Brian now. No. Anyways,
I'm the captain
Brian,
now.
Brian. Yeah. Memes. Okay. Brian had this project. It's a power supply module and then a power supply USB-C dongle, where you can set what the voltage is. That is, what's the word for it? When they talk to each other, the power supply and the USB. Yes. I would have said negotiate, and then I would wonder why some people say it like you did, or some people say it like
I say it wrong. Well, I would consider how I said it right, but I say it the other way all the time.
Yeah. I mean, Captain Picard says it your way, I think. So
Negotiate.
Yeah, no idea. Anyways, they are talking, and then there's a lot of voltage and amps, and this is capable of converting this to something you can set with a dial. Yeah, that's a pretty cool project. I was very close to doing that, but I don't really have a power supply that is able to speak USB-C stuff. So I have built a power supply. When was it? I think 5 to 6 years ago. Also with eBay modules, and I'm using a power supply from an old notebook. So it's 19 volts, and I have this. Well, yeah, you can see for yourself. I'm very.
Wrong full screen.
Very slowly turning here, and you can see that.
I like where it's mounted.
Right. That's a new thing about it.
Yeah.
It also has a power. Oh, okay. Sorry. That's very... And there's the dial. And then there's this little compartment where the wires can go in.
Yeah,
So
nice.
that was a fun project because it was technically just 3D designing a case for it that I can mount under it. And it was a relatively simple print. It took about 5 hours, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty happy about that because I don't really have that much of desk space and there's a lot of stuff laying around. So it's very, very good, very easy to find now. A power supply, I don't have to move things.
Yeah. For me, like tools that I can take off my desk really easily are super important to me. Like, it's in like the one that I don't use a power supply a lot, like nearly at all. Like the one that I made is up on a shelf there, like a small shelf above my desk, and I'll take it down whenever I need it. But like I have a full like 10 power supply, like a proper-ish one, and like it's over there somewhere, and like I don't know what use case it'll be for me to actually use that one because I just have to go get it. Like Robin has a question for you. How happy are you with your Prusa Mini? And he follows it up with a scale of 1 to 10. Do you have a Prusa Mini?
I do have a Prusa Mini and I'm pretty happy with it. So
scale of 1 to 10?
9.
9? That's really high.
Because the only thing that's really bugging me about it is that the build plate, the print size can only be 18 by 18 by 18. And there's maybe like one print in 20 where it doesn't fit, or I have to put it on diagonally. And that's about it.
I think that's kind of part of the charm of the Mini, though, right? It's in the name.
Right, but the printing quality is really awesome, and Prusa Slicer has lots of things that you can play around with to improve the printing speed and stuff. So I'm happy with that. It's a decent tool. I don't have to work on it. So yeah, and it was cheap, kind of, relatively. Yeah.
Mark gives it a 10. Johnny gives it a 9. These are pretty high numbers. None of you would make figure skater judges because, like, once you give
that's amazing.
Once you give something a 10, what happens when the Prusa Mini Plus comes out and it like sings and dances for you as your prints out?
Then it's a 9.1, or I don't know.
But he already gave it a 10. Like, there's nowhere to go from a 10.
No, I gave it a 9. Someone else gave it a 10.
9's still pretty high.
Yeah.
But that's fair. That's fair. For your USB-C needs, I went through a phase of buying random stuff off AliExpress that had anything to do with USB-C, and this is an interesting one. It takes a power source in.
Like any power source? Or?
Any power source. So you see it takes 12 to 28 volts on that. And it also has USB-C power delivery input on this side. And then it spits out USB-C power delivery on the outside. Nice. And so I guess if you had a power supply that was close to 20 volts, it would do that. I actually use it I have lights above my desk that I have connected to one of those power or PD negotiate modules. And like I have a USB-C cable on my desk, but it's from my Mac charger. But the problem with the Mac charger is it only does 29 or 5 volts. And I have those configured for 12 volts. So I actually use this to negotiate 20 volts with my Mac supply and then pass 12 volts into that. Which is the stupidest use case of this ever. But like it was, I had it here and it solved the problem. So I just did it, like, but Yeah, it's interesting. This is I've gotten a good few of those random USB-C stuff. People kept asking me about like, oh, can I power QC chargers from like PD? So I bought a couple of things around that too, but I haven't really done anything with it. Like this has USB QC output and takes whatever on the input, but I literally haven't even plugged that in. But yeah, so that was my weird story of random stuff.
USB conversion. Yeah. I maybe have a question to the audience, or like.
Okay. Yeah.
I really like the idea of mounting things under the shelf now, because it gives you a bit more room and you kind of use negative space. That even makes sense. But I'm thinking of maybe adding a small amp with speakers so you can breadboard something that makes noises and then you can just plug it in. But yeah, if anyone has any cool ideas for devices that would make sense to mount here, like what would you, I don't know, kind of want to have down the shelf right there where you're working?
Stream Deck for ESP32 touchdown might be kind of nice if it was like within hand's reach. What nice, a great name the ESP32 touchdown is.
Yeah, whoever came up
with that is a genius.
I'm gonna ask him for all my products now.
Especially as the release of it coincided with the Super Bowl. And it was trending on Twitter. That was a mistake. For anybody who doesn't know, I gave Dustin the name, or he had a competition, and I came up with the touchdown. I channeled my inner Adafruit. I felt like it would be a name that like Adafruit would give something, and I was like, "This is perfect." But in fairness, Dustin did come up with the Flexi Friend name because on a live stream, I'm going to be honest, I think the touchdown name is better than Flexi Friend, but I like the Flexi Friend. It was a good suggestion. I think I think names are kind of a little bit dumb anyway, so I don't think they're as important as people say. Once it's kind of memorable, I think you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sir, look, I have a device called a Power Blower, and they sell fine. So
I've heard that it's pronounced differently, but yeah.
Oh, really? Not according to everybody I talk to. So yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. How often do you die when you have to explain the joke, like inside?
The power blocker thing. Not at all. I kind of expect everybody to not know what it is. Like, I'm definitely at the stage where, like, unless there was a reason for somebody to need to know my name going forward, I wouldn't even correct people. Like you know, if I'm in a waiting room or something and somebody comes out and says Brian Lowe, I'd just be like, yep. You know, what's the point? Like, you know, so it doesn't bother me at all. I find it weird actually how some people can get, you know, upset with like, oh, actually it's pronounced. I think there was a comedian, Brian Regan, who had a joke about a Carolyn and a Caroline, and the person getting upset about being called Carolyn. And I was like, I don't care. So, anyways, so do we have any? Johnny mounted. Oh, sorry, Mark Olson. I clicked the wrong thing because it scrolled just as I was about to click. That comes down from my USB microscope and has a thermal camera. I'm using a GoPro to mount things. So there's one suggestion. Arson has a switch and router mounted under his desk. And what else do we have here? We have having additional power supply. So one thing we need more power. So I built a shelf under the shelf in my last house. So you'd see it in the tour video I did. I had a shelf, and I like screwed 2 pieces of timber into that and put another shelf like underneath it. And I used to just like, it was pretty flat, like it was only a few maybe like 5 centimeters, 4 centimeters deep. But like I'd put like my laptop and stuff when I wasn't using it up in there, and I also had power. I had power up there too. So like I used it to charge my phone and devices like that. I don't know if I should be able to show it by going to
for a sort of sucker, and my favorite SMD tweezers, like a little compartment would be nice there. So like a mini shelf.
Little mini shelf. Let's see how this works now. Just 1 second.
Oh yeah.
Virtual desk. Here we go. So this is behind my monitor here. So you see I hang a lot of stuff from under my shelf. So I have cables there, because that's real dead space right behind my monitor. Like, so I've thrown some stuff behind there. You can see I have a couple of hooks. You see them right down at the end where I'm hanging like some like VR controllers off them and stuff. I don't know. It could be too far. If I show you, I can't bend it enough. But yeah, so that's what's underneath my shelves at the moment.
Nice.
And Deshepu wants you to put an elf on the shelf.
Well, I have. Oh no, it's a duck now. But there's a Furby up there at least.
That's true. Nice little Furby. Secret snacks. Secret snacks drawer.
No.
Enough.
Yeah, that's. I'm watching my weight or what I eat for 2 weeks now, and snacks are a no here. So.
How's that going? Can you you happy to talk? Like, isn't doing all right? I have not done well since we've been talking about it, but
I mean, it's another project. It's hacking yourself, I guess, in a way.
Yeah. I'm looking for my weighing scales. I have the box here. I have the scales. Yes. I do. So here is, if you're on my Discord, there we have a nice perfect reflection of the StreamYard.
Don't show the link.
I tried to dox our MakerCast link a few times yesterday. So this is a smart scales from Xiaomi, and it has Bluetooth, as Maiko mentions, and I got it mainly because I want to see, can you build some form of a project out of it where like it advertises the weight that it's measuring over the BLE, and it seems to be completely unencrypted. You don't need to connect you don't need to register an app with it or whatever. So I should be able to connect an ESP32 to it, and I'm thinking of maybe.
Very nice to see. I'm just now that you're saying that it's not really encrypted, I'm just wondering why they would bring out thermometers where everything is encrypted, the e-paper stuff, but the actual stuff that can kind of hurt you when someone puts out your weight, it's just distributed into the air. It's like
that is weird, because you're right. Like I don't think I have one here, but like those square little thermometer things that Aaron Christoffel works on, like he had to do custom firmware to release an unencrypted one, and this is not encrypted. Mark is saying, can I wear parcels with it? It's a parcel wouldn't turn it on anyways.
I'm not sure if They seem pretty.
I stood on it there, and it did turn on, but turned straight back off again. So I'll stand on it again here. Okay, so it's alive. It's not accurate enough to weigh parcels. Like the parcels I would have would be in the 0 to 100 gram range.
Yeah.
And the smallest figure that shows is 100 grams. No, sorry. It shows down to 0.00. So that would be tens of grams, but it's not working anyways. So
maybe they have a postal scale.
That would be cool. That would be even more automation to my automating empire. Yeah. So like one thing, like this is I'm gonna embrace this taking shortcuts thing that I've been talking about in my last few like public appearances. Because it is true, that is how I've always worked, but I've just only realized it recently that I love to take whatever shortcuts I can. So, like, I think it was an old Andreas Spiess video. He had a scales, like a regular bathroom scales, and he took the load. He like hooked into the load cells with a load cell amplifier and connected it to something. Actually, I don't think it was Andreas. I think it was some other.
I think it was.
It could have been him too.
Yeah, something with a cat and the food consumption. And
was
something under the plate, or
that could have been it. So, like, I have a weighing scales that's halfway through that project, but I just never finished it off. But like, I think if you could just buy one of these off the shelf, it still works as a weighing scales if you aren't using the project with it, and you could just connect up the ESP32. I feel like that'd be quite nice, and then you could have some form of interface where, hey, it's Brian stepping up on it, you click the button or just whatever.
Send it through MQTT on the onto the Raspberry Pi that already has MQTT. And then
exactly. And you probably don't even need the interface to go, it's Brian, because like Brian weighs like however many kg more than Caroline. So like you don't, if the person is between this and this, it's probably Brian. Like even if he has lost weight, but so. That's a future project, but I like the idea of that kind of stuff, though, of taking something like it was like Matu's. I kept calling Matu Mateo last night because I've been watching a lot of Superstore on Netflix, and there's a character called Mateo in it. But if you can take a product and alter it very slightly and not break it from what it was originally intended to be, and I like that a lot. Yeah, that's right up my alley. And that wasn't expensive. That was like £16 from Amazon.co.uk, like which is like I guess it's less than €20.
It's something like that here.
Like the cheapest like weighing scales you're going to buy is €10, like for the absolute cheapest dumb one you can get. So yeah, I think that'd be fun.
I already have the scale here, the Xiaomi. So get on it.
So Mark Olson says he's going to hack his IKEA scale, so he'll share it with us. So we're just all waiting for somebody else to do it first. Marcus could possibly do it. I think I missed something earlier on. But for people entering now, Brian's he's talking about weighing scales and thermometers. Yeah, it's true. I'm a real doctor. I prescribe whatever.
Gotta watch your weight.
Gotta watch your weight. Yeah. Maybe a mark. Right. I think we're at time. I would say we've gone over a good bit from the original hour, but I was just I was in the mood to let things free form today. So it was fun to talk to people. Do you have something else you want to show?
I was just wondering how long I was on here, because before that we were kind of joking about Michael being on 20 minutes, and nobody really noticed that it was 20 minutes already. I mean,
well, the Prusa question from Robin was at 10:20, so you're here 20 minutes.
See, time flies.
Time flies when you're having fun. No, Michael, you do not need to apologize. I am the moderator, so I have to limit people. But you were on such a roll that I wasn't going to stop you. So, yeah, it was a great presentation. So thank you so much for joining. Robin was saying that it was real fun. I'm looking forward to hosting Robin at some stage. I'm putting him completely on the spot, but he has so many cool things that he's showing on Twitter at the moment that we'll hopefully snag him at some stage and have like an exclusive. Including a solder sucker DIY device. I made the absolute worst one you could ever imagine, and I thought it was pretty good for soldering with or assembling with. So instead of tweezering the part and placing it on your board, use a solder sucker to take it straight out of the tape and put it on the board, and then like let go of the suction. And I'm a convert, even though I was using a fish pump that I modified into a solder pusher or an air pusher thing. It was so janky, and it was still pretty good. So yes. So make sure to follow Robin on Twitter to get the updates on them. And he said he's going to join, so great. So make sure to stick around on this when we get the exclusive Robin solder. I don't know what a solder assembly sucker. I don't know what it's called, but I want one.
Yeah.
Yes. So thank you, Not Angus Darko, for joining. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Coming on and closing out the place. So yes, okay. I'll leave you here as we say goodbye, Dave. So you could say your big goodbyes. So bye everybody. Thank you for joining. This will, despite the last 4 weeks only being doing it every 2 weeks, this is a weekly thing. I just haven't been able to do it for the last consistently for the last 4 weeks, but we should be good to go next week again. So yeah, stick around and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.